Hey guys, today we're in the book of Numbers, chapter 28. Well, we finished off yesterday with knowing that Joshua is going to succeed Moses. And in today's reading, you might have already thought, haven't I already read all of this? It's all about the sacrifices. What's interesting about this chapter and the next chapter, 29, is God is not repeating himself, okay? God has already told us in the book of Exodus and Leviticus on what people should sacrifice. But now he's giving a more thorough instruction on what should Israel sacrifice. We've learned what personal sacrifice should look like. Now we're looking at what congregational sacrifice would be. He's giving specifics. He went back and said you should sacrifice here and here, but now we get to know exactly what day and exactly what he wants. So it's not the same thing. People still have to sacrifice due to their sin, okay, and what they have done, but now the nation has to sacrifice because they are a nation of sin and a nation to remember God. So there's personal sacrifice, there's corporate sacrifice. And that's what chapter 28 and 29 is about. Remember, we're here on the edge of the Jordan River. They can see the promised land. Jericho is just across the river. And so now this is a new generation. This generation was not on Mount Sinai. And so God is reminding them what he's already told their parents, what has already been written down, but is reminding them about sacrifice. And so when we get to 28, what's interesting here is verse 2. Okay, verse 2. He says, "Commend the people of Israel and say to them, my offering, my food for my food offerings." We as people, we often say that we want to hunger for God, that we should hunger and thirst for God. We even see this picked up in the New Testament where Jesus talks about this on the Sermon on the Mount, those who hunger and thirst after the things of God. If he's hungry, I am the bread of life. If you are thirsty, I am the living water. Jesus picks these statements up. But here, notice what he's talking about. God is saying that the sacrifices of Israel is his food. Not only should we hunger after God, but God hungers after the sacrifice and devotion and relationship of his people, of Israel. And so it's just a neat kind of view we get to see on God that, yes, we should hunger after God, but God hungers after our relationship as well. And during this, he starts to say, every morning and every evening you shall sacrifice a lamb. One lamb in the morning, one at twilight, as well with fine flour as a grain offering, along with oil and a drink offering. The drink offering here is defined in verse 7 of strong drink. It's the Hebrew word shekar. It means intoxicating drink, so and alcohol. So this would have been fermented wine for sure. And so this is what God wants. Every morning, every night, there has to be a sacrifice. But as well as every morning, every night, now we get the specifics. There should be a Sabbath offering. So on every Sabbath, on every Friday evening, right? Every Friday evening, there's going to be a male lamb sacrificed along with a grain offering and a drink offering, and then again on Saturday evening to close out Sabbath. But notice what it says: besides the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. So what you need to know is everything builds upon itself in these chapters. So in 28, one lamb every morning, one lamb every night, 365 days, right? Keeps going every single day. One lamb in the morning, one in the night. Now on every Sabbath. So now you have one every morning, one every night, except for on Sabbath, which is Friday evening, the sun goes down, it starts Sabbath. So on Friday night, there's 2 lambs, and on Saturday night when it goes down, there's 2 more lambs. And so it just adds on. So you have every morning, every evening. Now you put a layer of every Sabbath, and then we have monthly offerings or new moon offerings, right? So when there's a new moon, which means there's no moon in the sky, when it's completely black, the moon has been covered, there is a new moon offering that gets added upon the morning and the night and the Sabbath. Then there's the Passover, okay, the Passover offering. And so remember, individuals still have to do the Passover, right? But as a nation, they have to do one every morning, every night, one every month, one every Sabbath, now one every Passover at the beginning and the end. And all of these come with 2 bulls, 1 ram, 7 male lambs, a grain offering, a drink offering, 1 goat for a sin offering, okay? So all of these are just getting added on and on. And then we have what is called the Feast of Weeks. You know it better because of the New Testament, called Pentecost. Pentecost, 50 days. It's 50 days after the Passover. That's what Pentecost means. And so here on Pentecost, then you have this again. So they're just adding one every morning, one every night, one during the beginning of Passover, one at the end of Passover, the one of every new moon, and now you have the one at the beginning of the Feast of Weeks or the Pentecost, and you have one at the end, right? And it's not just a lamb, it's the conglomeration of them, right? It's the 2 bulls, the 1 ram, the 7 male lambs, the grain offering, the drink offering, and the goat for the sin offering. So you can see there's a lot of things being killed in these chapters, right? Remember, every person still has to do their personal sacrifices. This is above and beyond for the nation of Israel. This is what the priests are doing, okay? As well as everybody is bringing their animals to the tabernacle that they would be slaughtering, okay? So, hope that makes a little bit of sense. I know it seems like you're reading the same thing over and over again, but God is giving us a focus on sacrifice. And we'll see a little bit more about this tomorrow in chapter 29. God bless.